TV Crazy Man here. In this video, we take a look back at the strongest, bravest, coolest, and most beautiful women to grace the television screen ever on classic TV superhero shows, including some of the baddest girls of Batman, the incredible Wonder Woman Lynda Carter, Batgirl.
I'm no ordinary woman, Batman.
Saturday morning's Joanna Cameron, and Emmy-winning Bionic Woman Lindsay Wagner. Check out how they did some of those awesome effects, and find a few funny goofs and bloopers. And what does Charlie's Angels have to do with Wonder Woman? All this and more. Wonder Woman was played to perfection by Lynda Carter. She looked like Wonder Woman had just walked out of the pages of a comic book, much the way Christopher Reeve looked exactly like the comic book Superman. But did you know, according to my research, several sources say that Lynda Carter tried out for Charlie's Angels, and the Charlie's Angels cast tried out for the part of Wonder Woman. Just imagine a world where Farrah Fawcett or Jacqueline Smith had become Wonder Woman. Kate Jackson and Charlie's Angels' second season replacement angel Cheryl Ladd also auditioned for the part of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's powers looked pretty awesome back in the day, but without today's CGI computer graphics, they had to do special effects in very interesting and creative ways. You see, Lynda Carter did the bullets and bracelets trick by holding a remote in her hand that controlled the flashes we were supposed to think were bullets hitting her bracelets. Wonder Woman used her magic lasso to rope the bad guys when she didn't feel like running after them, which looked good most of the time. But here in this first season episode, the crooks are running full blast, arms are swinging, and then right before they get lassoed, they look like a couple of old guys running, barely moving, and their arms are tucked in so the lasso will go over them. I know somebody's going to say in the comments, "Who noticed? I was too busy looking at Wonder Woman." Well, that's a fair point. Fair point. Now, one trick they used to do back in the day to make it look like a superhero was leaping up a tall building was to have a stunt person jump out backwards, and then they just would reverse the film. Wonder Woman also had her tiara, which could be thrown at the bad guys and would return like a boomerang. Not sure why they put Lynda indoors for the close-up throw. If you look to your right of the screen, you can see Lynda's shadow on the studio wall behind her. Of course, we can't forget the invisible plane, even if we can't see it. Sometimes you could tell they used dolls inside a toy airplane to create the shot of the invisible plane. Another interesting fact in the show, if Wonder Woman lost her magic belt, she also lost her super strength. Did you know that Lynda Carter's version of Wonder Woman and a 70s Bionic Woman, Jamie Summers, actually teamed up in a comic miniseries years after the show had left the air? They even paired the 70s Wonder Woman with Adam West's Batman. In this scene, you can see the mattress the stunt people land on pop out through the doorway for a second. And if you look at the shadow on the floor, you can see the moment the stunt people are landing on it. You know, when I was a kid, this scene perplexed me as to why Wonder Woman would put on more clothes to go swimming. I've heard and read a few sources say that they tried a two-piece on Lynda Carter, but it kept falling off in the wrong places when she was in the swimming pool here that is supposed to be the ocean. Lynda Carter's true superpower was that she had a great smile. Like Christopher Reeve's Superman, she played Wonder Woman happy and friendly. Bad guys got roughed up, but you never got the sense that she was going to try to put the bad guys into the hospital. Did you know that Wonder Woman Steve Trevor actor Lyle Waggoner tested for the 1966 Batman? Can you imagine what that might have looked like?
Holy caboose!
Right you are.
2 to 2. 2 to 2.
Right. It must be an address.
I get it. 222 Glover Avenue.
You've done it, chum.
Smashing entrance.
The 1966 Batman had a lot of superwomen, mostly all bad guys, except of course Batgirl. I think Undine, the Joker's henchwoman from the episode Surf's Up Joker's Under, played by Sylvie Aberg, deserves a special mention. Personally, I'd rather see her as Joker's crime accomplice than Harley Quinn.
Coast is clear, Joker.
Sivvy played on 3 episodes of Batman, but the other 2 appearances were as a different Batgirl named Mimi, and she worked for Liberace. Catwoman has gone back and forth from one of Batman's foes to his love interest and somewhere in between.
When I get out of jail, will you take me on a date?
Come on, Batman, the police are here.
What about Robin?
But I had him killed.
Catwoman was played by 3 women for the Adam West Batman TV series. First, Julie Newmar, then Lee Meriwether in the Batman movie. Lee Meriwether was part of the cast of the 60s time travel series Time Tunnel. For more on that series, check out my Time Tunnel Facts and Goofs video. You probably remember at least some of Meriwether's many guest appearances, including Star Trek, Mission Impossible, Mannix, F-Troop, and her long-running job as Betty Jones on the Barnaby Jones detective show of the 70s alongside Buddy Ebsen. But did you know she was also Lily Munster in the 1980s on the series The Munsters Today for 3 seasons?
All right. I give up.
In season 2 of Batman, Julie Newmar came back, but then Eartha Kitt took over for Catwoman in season 3. She was not just an actress, but also a famous singer. I bet you've probably heard her Santa Baby song around Christmas time.
Santa Baby.
Apparently Julie Newmar was too busy filming the movie McKenna's Gold, which also featured the Penguin actor Burgess Meredith. If you get a chance, I highly recommend you check out her other classic TV series, My Living Doll, where she plays a robot.
Gotta get you some clothes. That sheet's got to go.
Very well.
Catwoman's powers in the comics and other media are usually centered around her cat-like reflexes and acrobatic abilities, which aren't really that much of a thing on the 66 Batman series. But she does have 9 lives, apparently.
So long, Dark Knight.
Drop in anytime.
The Barbara Gordon version of Batgirl was developed by Julius Schwartz to bring female viewers to the Batman TV series of the 60s. Producer of the show, William Dozier, came up with the idea that she would be the daughter of Police Commissioner Gordon. Batgirl debuted in the comics in Detective Comics 359 in 1967. And she debuted in September of '67 on the TV series played by Yvonne Craig. Batman seems to have a thing for Batgirl.
Commissioner Gordon is bringing his daughter Barbara along as my date.
So?
I wonder if we could continue that date we interrupted this weekend.
Bruce Wayne dates Barbara Gordon on occasion, and Batman appears to be attracted to Batgirl despite not knowing her true identity. Bruce Wayne's butler, Alfred, is the only one that knows her true identity.
No one will ever learn your secret from me.
Thank you, Alfred.
Did you know that Batgirl had her own theme song on the show? Batgirl's favorite fighting move was the kick.
Holy agility.
It's likely Batgirl kicked so much because Yvonne was a professional ballet dancer. Instead of an automobile, Batgirl was given a bat cycle. Batgirl and Batman would take turns on who would save whom, but in this particular episode, Catwoman's Dressed to Kill, Alfred saved Batgirl.
Thank you.
I noticed goof on this one. Batgirl starts with her hands tied in front, then later it appears like her hands are tied behind her. But when Alfred rescues her, all he has to do is take off the strap on the table, and her hands just pull right out because she was never tied up to start with. I wonder if she was just trying to make Alfred feel, needed. This reminds me of probably one of my least favorite episodes, Nora Clavicle and the Ladies' Crime Club. This scene where our heroes are tied in a human knot is so unbelievable, it's just not even funny to me. I mean, okay, Adam West's silly expressions might force a chuckle or two, but this scene is just too silly to be good. I mean, all Batman has to do is just take his hand down, for starters.
What a simple way to get out of a Siamese human knot.
Yvonne was in a lot of great stuff, including the movie Kissin Cousins, starring Elvis Presley in 1964, which was just a few years before she became Batgirl. Wonder if Elvis had these kinds of scenes in his contract. I read this movie was filmed in just 17 days. A year later, Yvonne would make a guest appearance on My Favorite Martian, starring Bill Bixby, who would also go on to play a superhero. Bixby also happened to be in 2 Elvis movies himself. Kinda makes you wonder if that's why she turned up green on Star Trek. Yvonne was in a lot of things, too numerous to mention, but I don't want to forget a couple other shows that are favorites of mine, Dobie Gillis and the 6 Million Dollar Man, in which she appeared. Jamie Summers first appeared in a 1975 2-part 6 Million Dollar Man episode entitled The Bionic Woman. In that episode, Steve Austin reunites with his high school sweetheart, Jamie Summers, but tragedy strikes on a skydiving date when her parachute malfunctions on the way down. Steve has to make the case to Oscar for rebuilding her crushed bones with bionic limbs.
You're in love with her. What's that got to do with it? You'd sell your soul for her.
Jamie's right arm, both legs, and one of her ears were now bionic.
What about it? You're getting better.
How did that happen?
Shortly after Jamie gets better, Steve and Jamie get engaged to be married.
What kind of a life are we going to have with each other?
What kind of a life are we going to have without each other?
Things take a turn for the worse. Jamie starts to reject her bionics and supposedly dies.
I love you, Jamie.
But the Bionic Woman was so popular that they had to find a way to bring her back. The creators of the 6 Million Dollar Man decided that Jamie hadn't died at all, but that her survival had been kept secret from Steve Austin. Unfortunately, Steve and Jamie's newly rekindled romance was tremendously halted, as Jamie was now suffering from a form of amnesia that prevented her from remembering her relationship to Steve Austin.
Haven't I seen you before?
The Bionic Woman would be launched into her own series in 1976 as a mid-season replacement, starring Lindsay Wagner, of course. The show began its run in the top 10 in the first season. Jamie would do missions for the OSI on occasion while holding down a job as a school teacher. Some of the best episodes of The Bionic Woman and the 6 Million Dollar Man occurred when they teamed up for crossovers. But unfortunately that stopped when The Bionic Woman was canceled from ABC and moved to NBC for its last 3rd season. But the characters Oscar and Rudy Wells still appeared on both shows and both networks. The 3rd season brought forth the addition of the bionic dog named Max, which I happen to love as a kid. Both series, The 6 Million Dollar Man and The Bionic Woman, ended the same year, but the bionic duo of Steve Austin and the Bionic Woman would return for 3 TV movies, and they would finally get married. You gotta love a happy ending. Jamie's abilities were limited once she jumped off a building that was just a little too tall trying to escape a fembot and caused severe damage to her bionic legs. Did you know that Lindsay Wagner won an Emmy Award for her portrayal as the Bionic Woman? But even Lindsay Wagner, as good as an actress as she is, could still make some bloopers.
He does love you. No, he doesn't. He does. But, well, I'll be a son of a...
Give me the men's room.
He does. No, I do this every time.
Does this look like a woman out of shape to you?
Put it down.
But you gotta give a better...
I'm sorry you had to see this too.
Yes, he does, Amanda. But... Oh.
What happened?
We failed. The lawyer.
She said shit.
That's a wrap, guys.
The Secrets of Isis was a popular superhero morning TV series produced by Filmation and spun off from Shazam. It ran from 1975 to 1976. It starred Joanna Cameron as a schoolteacher who turned into Isis, a superwoman with the ability to fly, super strength, command of elements, control of the weather. She could pass through walls and even make other objects pass through walls.
Oh, icy winds, now do conspire to freeze this car.
She could even reverse the flow of time. In other words, she could give Jeannie and Samantha Stevens from Bewitched a run for their money. Joanna Cameron is also known for another superhero for her guest appearance on the 70s Spider-Man TV series, The Deadly Dust Parts 1 and 2, which was later turned into a movie released to foreign markets. Well, I'm running out of time on this video. Before I go, let me make a quick mention of another 70s superhero show that has been brought up quite a few times in the TV Crazy Man community comments, and that's Electra Woman and Dyna Girl. That show ran for 16 episodes in 1976 and is still well remembered. Perhaps I'll do a video just for them sometime in the future. Well, which superheroine was your favorite of all time from back in the day of classic television? Was it Wonder Woman, the Bionic Woman, Batgirl, Isis, or did you like the bad girls like Catwoman or the Joker's hench lady, Undine? Post your thoughts in the comments. Please hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos from me, TV Crazy Man, on classic TV and movies.